Welcome to Who's Your Mama, a podcast focusing on tomorrow's future, which are our kids, educators, teachers, parents, all encompassing with the goal of understanding that our brain is a muscle that we can exercise to control the speed in the direction that we want. Let's go, y'all. The time is now. Anabel Salimian of ROOTS, welcome back to Who's Your Mama.
Thanks so much for having me back, Michelle.
I love our discussions, and I've gotten a lot of great feedback from the ones that we've had previously, and I look forward to them continuing. So, with all that being said, let's go where we were before and continue the journey together. So, when we were discussing last time, we were talking about energy hygiene, and for some people, they may not know what that means, but expand maybe quickly on what that is, and then we'll discuss a few other topics that are related.
Yeah. And I loved this idea that kind of sparked into our mind last time of the energy hygiene, right? We touched up a little bit upon how sleep hygiene has been something that is more popular in the media now in terms of health and wellness. And, we thought about how does this apply to our mental health and our well-being and our energy as well. We thought about this, component, this notion of health, or sorry, of like wellness, energy, hygiene, right? And how do we keep our energy clean, pure, kind of positive? And we talked about some ways in which we could do that, and happy to kind of further on those brainstorms and thinking and creating as we go. It's so exciting.
Yeah, I mean, it's overall as brain health is life health, and so many areas we give attention to, and we forget some of the other areas, especially when life becomes busy. And as you know, we talk about, and you do with Roots with your wellness planner is taking things. I think about this like I'm like minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day, sometimes, and putting practice into play. So, especially coming towards, the holiday season and all of that, what are some helpful tips that you would suggest as far as understanding the differences between taking on too much? So, the caring versus caring. So what
Mhm.
I mean is like caring too much. Like I've said this, like sometimes I care too much in this area of my life, and then I'm carrying burdens that is not on somebody else or other things, but extra loads that I take on, and how to differentiate between the two, but still being true to yourself.
Yeah, this is a great topic, and I love that distinction between like caring too much or caring too much. And I think, like you mentioned, it's intertwined, right? Because there are some things that really matter to us, things that we care about that really make us who we are, our passions. And at the same time, you don't want to feel like you're overburdened or overwhelmed or like you're carrying too much. And I think that this comes into play, especially with the holiday season upcoming, where those things could really clash, right? Like you may care about certain components of the holiday season, family members, activities, XYZ, but you need to at the same time make sure that you don't overwhelm yourself and don't carry too much on your, like a weight on your shoulders, to make sure that you can keep your energy hygiene clean in that sense, right? So it's kind of finding those like areas, there's little boundaries, spaces where you can make sure that your physical and mental health stays important to you, even when you're undergoing different activities, whether that's holiday activities or family activities, life stressors. How can you kind of budget little time here and there to make sure that you can keep your energy clean and maintain that mental health and well-being?
Absolutely. So, and sometimes we're all better at doing that, saying that and knowing it and then putting practice into play. So, what would you say are some of the signs that someone could look for
Hmm.
that, whether they're triggers or not, just to then spark them to go, okay, this is an area where I recognize that I need to make a shift, and where to go about it? Like what are some things
Yeah.
that you would say that could help somebody spark their mind to know that?
Yeah, that's a great question. And what comes to mind for me is the phrase, the word burnout, right? We hear a lot about like burnout in the workplace. We hear a lot about how you get job fatigue or burnout in academics or in the workplace. But I think this concept is really powerful and holds very true to like your personal well-being and mental health as well, right? You could come across moments of overwhelm or stress when you feel like you're mentally burnt out. And that's kind of what I think we're touching upon here of being able to kind of be more aware of those moments, or if it's building up over the days, how to parse out when I'm leading to a mental burnout per se, because that is real and it does not just apply to the workplace or the academic settings. A lot of those signs and kind of symptoms, quote unquote, might look the same. And it kind of encompasses things of, like we talked about, like this overwhelm, this stress, this lack of interest, lack of pleasure in certain activities, kind of feeling more fatigued, having some of that brain fog. These are some of the things that come to mind to me when personally I've experienced this phase of like a mental health burnout, right? Of feeling like I'm kind of tired. I've been pushing myself, overwhelming myself, and haven't made proper space for a break. And really just in those moments trying to understand, okay, I see where I am at now. Let's try to incorporate some positive activities, some gratitude exercises, just some breaks, some mindfulness to be able to reset myself so I don't continue feeling this way. And like that, like you said, it's easier said than done, but the first step, like you mentioned, is really being able to understand yourself and see, okay, why am I feeling this way? Is it because of this, because of this? Take some time to write some stuff down. You know me, I love like intentional reflection and
Yes,
journaling. So I
yes,
think
I
that's
love
so
that
powerful
about
here
you.
too.
Yes. Well, one of the things I actually did a real, not trying to give myself a plug on this, but it was about gratitude and using my own words. Because in previous episodes, you and I have talked about, if we said what we're saying to ourselves internally, if a loved one said that back to us, how would we feel? And if the answer is not good, then why are we saying those things to ourselves? So I think
Mhm.
that's really important what you talk about the journaling and reflecting and writing things down. One of the things that I have, because I am juggling a lot of new things right now in many areas of my life. And right before you and I started filming, I was like, like breathing. So breath work has really helped me
Mhm.
and has been a newer thing for me, even being a former athlete. I
Mm.
learned through boxing and other meditative things. It really has helped me, especially before going to sleep. And
Mhm.
so what would you say is an amount in your experience and all the work that you do in your work life and personally is a period of time where I think some people, and myself included, giving myself the grace to take the space
Yeah.
to recalibrate? What would you say is a period of time that people can give themselves the grace to not feel guilty? A 10-minute reset, a 15-minute set to get kind of the heart rate and those sort of things to rebalance and reframe.
Yeah, I love that, Michelle, and thanks for sharing about your experiences as well. And my answer off the bat is anytime. And I think that's the hard truth. And maybe sometimes what people don't want to hear is that that intentional time in that space that you allow for yourself can be anytime. I understand there's work meetings, classes, perhaps maybe not the best time, but at the end of the day, if that's what your body is really needing, you can step out for a glass of water, do some of those breathing exercises. Somatic therapy is very, very powerful and very, very important. So, whatever that looks like, whatever shape that is for you, whether that's a couple minutes of mindfulness, a breathing exercise, like you mentioned, a walk, it really is easier said than done. But one of the most important practices to give to yourself is to take that time when you need it. And that's whenever you're feeling overwhelmed, stressed, having that burnout is when you need to intentionally set that time aside and say, okay, I'm feeling this way right now. Let me do something to fix it.
And I mean, that's one of the many reasons I love our conversations. It's like burnouts into blessings
I love
because
it.
listening to different perspectives and which is also reframing. And that really is what the core is that we bless ourselves and water the grass where we're standing and spread the fertilizer and grow. And that is the growth in it. So, on that note, thank you for helping me grow today with our conversation
Likewise.
and the roots of which you stand behind, literally and figuratively speaking.
Yeah.
And I look forward to our next conversation. So, as you know, the way I sign off is let's go, y'all. The
The
time
time is now.
now.
Love
Thanks,
it, Michelle.
Annabelle.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to Who's Your Mama? And I look forward to collaborating from a community standpoint for the next episodes.